dice que todo se va. Sáquenme la botella que funda pa' gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y bebe, ese seguro y retrocede. Que marcaste la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito pa' mí, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo pa' ti. Lo que tengo pa' ti. Sé que te va a encantar como me tuyo.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and like always, the other host, not the co-host. Hell no, man. He has definitely been a part of this channel since the beginning, really, of the live broadcast. So I welcome my partner in crime, of course, Gametime Bryan, as the Time Brothers are back.
Well. Everybody noticed the hat. I've created a firestorm. We'll get into that. But yes, brother, it's been a good 3 weeks, I think, since we've been together. I think he joined me once. But Michael, Dan is in the house. What's up, brother? But anyway, Phil, what's going on, man? How you doing? How was everything? Good?
Summer's going well here in Florida. Hot as hell. I think if you've watched anything of the World Cup, not to say any of you guys have, but you'll see those guys are very hot, and they're just like, it's America's been doing well. That was a very sneaky. They rested a lot of guys in that last part.
Yeah,
well, I mean, they rested like 9 people in the beginning of the thing because obviously they were already in the tournament and they were just going to see what they could do there. But I guess, the points still matter. But either way, they've been doing an amazing job. I've been watching it. My girl went over to Miami and we watched the Uruguayan game. Her national team, which got eliminated because, let's be real, that's been an amazing national team, but not now as well, too. So, yeah, exactly. So, you'll make some quick enemies there. She's definitely one of those very rare ones that doesn't like Messi at all, so there's that rivalry there between the two countries. But here I am back. I'm happy to be back just because we've had an amazing summer where I've been at work as well too, so some amazing programs, some big huge events as well too. So now that that's kind of been pushed away, summer's opened up a little bit more. We can start doing this weekly. I can start jumping on your thing. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to talk about Dallas Cowboys football. I'm gonna let the chat know as well too that Game Time is probably going to most likely be leading a little bit more tonight because I've been out of the loop a lot of the I say that even though he does that most of the time anyways because he won't shut the fuck up. But either way, at least it gives it a good excuse this time, But either way, Game Time, I'm happy we're back together. Yeah. Hey, let's go forward, right?
Yeah, man. Listen, it's an interesting off season, right? Where there's a lot of excitement, and people get offended. I'm not gonna name names. Philly D. No, I'm joking. People get offended when I do a video about Dak Prescott. All I said was, and we've actually kept it about as more honest than most, right? Yeah, as far as content creators when it goes to Dak Prescott.
Yeah, we're very critical.
There's not much talk about everybody, but we're going to talk about the squad. We are. But I mean, I did a video and I just touched on if Dak should win a Super Bowl. That in itself should tell you it was a stretch. But if Dak should win a Super Bowl, and I was just crunching the numbers, that's all. Over the next 5 years, Dak Prescott in his 10 years, or what? I mean, how many is it? 11? He has missed almost 3 full seasons due to injury. He has. When you look at the games, he's missed 2 3/4 seasons. So, and he's amassed a lot of yardage. I said, if he averages what he's been doing over the next 5 years and wins a Super Bowl, he'll be, I said, first ballot. But just to let everybody know, if he has 5 seasons like he did last year, he'll be, he may overpass Dan Marino. Right? And again, people say, oh my God, Eli Manning sits 11. I am one of the ones who think Eli should be in the Hall of Fame. Do I think Dak's going in the Hall of Fame? I don't know what to think because he owns every Cowboy record to the chagrin of a lot of old heads.
Yeah.
Kid Cowboy, whatever, Kid Ranger. Kid
See,
Brown,
when
whoever kid goes by.
When it comes to the whole thing with Dak Prescott, the moment he came into the league, there's been 2 times that I've done this with my brother, my younger brother. We've definitely been very close in the sense of following the Cowboys and going to games and everything as well too. So, him moving away, there was a time where I told him, I said, look, man, this Romo guy that's coming, he's a 3rd stringer. I would start looking at him in the next couple of years. They're going to develop him. That's going to be something. I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer or anything like that. But then, that was something. And then Prescott comes out of here in 2016, got Elliott. I'm like, hey, look, man, this guy looks like he can legit at least stay in the pocket. His college tape is kind of iffy or whatever like that, but he looks pretty solid of what he's showing right now. And so he's come out, developing, showing that he can learn every single year. Gets hurt, starts diving a little bit differently so he doesn't keep his foot on the ground as he's getting tackled and stuff. You'll notice it all the time. You can go back for the last couple of years. Anytime he goes to get tackled when he's over in space, he brings his feet onto the ground. He's not going to get it caught in there at all. So there's kind of like that Tony Starks with his suit where, you always saw something happen with him, but then he always kind of learned from it and adapted to the next thing. So when I look at it, when I look at a lot of the failure, I don't look at a lot with him. I look at this defense and what they have not been for the long ass time. And when we had Quinn, that was nice, but it deteriorated after a while when everybody kind of figured out how to attack it. Hold on.
Yeah, Phil, I'm not saying he's going to do it,
but
it was just a talking point. It's a talking point.
If you were to give him one Super Bowl, I think he's enough to get him in the Ring of Honor. It's going to be hard to talk about Hall of Famer, especially a first ballot. Like, to me, I still teeter.
That was where I messed up.
Yeah,
that
I still
was
teeter.
where I messed up.
Yeah, I still teeter on the fact that
because I messed up there because I hadn't had my liquid gold in the morning. It was early. I say things. I got people like to check me. I was just projecting out if he wins the Super Bowl, and he just has his average that he's had throughout his whole career, which is far less
yards.
Phil,
Amazing yards.
That he's had. He had 4,500 yards last year. 4,500. His average for his career is 3,500. Why? Because he's missed almost 3 full seasons due to injury. That in itself, it was just a talking point.
No, I totally. Trust me, especially in the offseason, that's how it goes, man.
Listen, I got on a roll doing 3 straight videos of Hammer and Eagles, and I wasn't making none of it up. That's the thing. It was real Eagle news that Eagle fans don't want to hear. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. It's a
I like
joke.
how you're
I don't know that.
You're like, I started ruffling some feathers.
Well, I did, but I was just covering the news. Did you hear? I know we're going to get into Dallas, but we hadn't talked in a while. Mm-hmm. Did you see the video? Did you hear? I know it's old news, but not really. I didn't know this part of it. Is that Hassan Reddick and A.J. Brown? We did know that they were messing around with the same massage therapy. We knew that, but that's where I thought it ended, and I thought there was a rift between Dak because Dak didn't have. Not Dak. Jalen Hurts and Jalen didn't come to AJ's defense. Remember, everybody, Hassan Reddick is local. He's Temple University. Anyway, if you think back, his car got stolen, Phil, AJ Brown, and it was relocated over to Camden. and Camden's not a good. Listen, I'm not trying to be mean, but Camden is not a good place, okay? I know that's a home of the Sixers, but outside of that little area and the aquarium, Camden is a mess, right?
It's okay. So you can say it. They know it.
But AJ's car was relocated and nothing was wrong with it. They just sent a message theft because in normal days, your shit would be up on blocks and there would be nothing left but a shell of a car. So that was Hassan Reddick and his goons. This was a video and an article. There was all kinds of stuff going on. So I was just shocked that this franchise who always likes to talk about culture, I think that had a lot to do with why the Eagles weren't successful last year.
Yeah, well, the city also likes to talk about brotherly love too, but we all see where that love goes.
But anyway, so I get away from that and I talk about Dak and then I get more shit. So it's like, all right.
Oh, well, man, you can't. That's what I'm saying. When you were like, oh man, I'm getting shit for Dak. I'm like, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of YouTube.
I think the only thing that'll work is we suck. We have no shot.
Like you seen Mark die on that hill. Like I would not even go down that thing. I just like you have an opinion.
I'm not dying.
I think his juke step. You'd be like, I think Dak juke step is one of the best. You'd be like, oh motherfucker! Like you just.
We have been more realistic when it comes to Dak Prescott.
Oh hell yeah!
We know he. Come on now. If he doesn't have a good year, I'm ready to turn the page, baby. But
I'm a root for him as long as he has that star on. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think he's our weakest point. I mean, really, honestly, if we lose him, we are actually a lot worse if we lose him right now. You know, compared to what we have there. So. Again, that's the measuring stick right there. Is your starting quarterback? Are you a different team if you don't have that guy in there? Yeah. So then I think that kind of says a lot about who he is as a leader.
But listen. It's all love, by the way. Again, I don't.
It's also a lot of hate.
Try not to make things. I try not to make titles, and then not talk about the title. You know, or elaborate.
I know. It's like I know exactly what you're talking about.
Naming names, but I'm really not trying to do that again. And now Drew that has a channel, he knows there's only so much X's and O's and.
Trust me, there's been times where I originally tried to get down to subject. And we start talking, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "We didn't even talk about that subject." I was like, "Wow, that sucks."
Like when I upload my videos, I almost feel like there's going to be a voice. Bryan, you just talked about this 2 days ago. We can't upload this. It's like, oh shit! All right, I gotta put different spins on things because there's no games, people, and that's good. Listen, as a Cowboy fan, no news is good news. This is the time period, Phil, where kind of hold your breath, right? You see what happened to who was the guy who just got arrested, Tyrion Arnold, the cornerback for the I think he is for Detroit, right? Is he still with Detroit? He may be serving over 20 years in prison. Tyrion Arnold, the Alabama cornerback.
That corner we saw in the first round. I remember that.
Yeah, and he's underwhelmed, but again, he's still young.
But he's still been pretty good. I think he's been pretty solid at times as well, too.
I think he was better than that other dude that they got that's hit the market, Jeff Okuda. That he was a miss too. But again, this is that time of year, though, where you see people speeding in Georgia and stuff like that. I'm not naming names, but that's
right. You give them a lot of money, you give them a little bit of time off. I swear they can't even behave.
Well, exactly. Speaking of time off, when are we getting? Are you going to reach back out to Devin Moore?
Well, honestly, I told you how busy I've been as well too. So I mean, I think it's with the boys obviously reaching out
between now and.
But I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, one of those things as well too. I mean,
we don't get them now. We probably ain't never getting them.
Well, let me finish. Like, it's one of those things too. You don't want to be consistently reaching out right as soon as he's hit the NFL, making it seem like that's all you're reaching out for. And I think that's where the boys.
You reached out before he was in the NFL.
Yeah,
he was drafted by the team that we both cover. Yeah, we want him.
Hey, Malik, I'm personally reaching out to him, so I'm not talking to him at all. So it's just like it's the boys as well too. So I'll reach out and see what time. When's the training camp start? Like end of July?
Yeah, the 29th.
Okay. So yeah, I would definitely be reaching out. I know from what I heard, he's actually in Naples right now. He's at a youth camp that they've been doing.
Yeah. I'm just saying if. Like Kyle Yeomans. I don't know if you heard about Kyle. He's now gone from Dallas Cowboys.
No way. I did not see. That's what I'm saying. I'm out of the loop.
From the Dallas Cowboys. He is.
Did he move by himself? He chose to. He chose to leave.
He got a job. He is one of 32. He now is the lead analyst. He's the voice of the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, that sucks, man. He did a lot of sports. He had
He's that like voice of the Ravens.
He had that Ryan Seacrest thing going on. He was like everywhere.
Yeah,
high school football and volleyball.
On Facebook. Yeah, we still may be able to get him. I did talk to him on Facebook Messenger, and that was last year.
Well, he had triplets. He had triplets, and so that kind of changes his whole life, because
he's now going to Baltimore. Him and Rod Woodson are going to be the lead radio. He's going to be the Brad Sham of That's what he That's what he wanted to do. Between me and you, I think ultimately he would want to come back to Dallas if that opportunity ever were to present itself and be the Brad, and replace Brad whenever Brad's getting up there. But he's the voice of the Baltimore Ravens, so it's kind of an odd because we play the Ravens week 3 in Brazil, right? So very interesting. But let me get to the chat real quick so we don't just bore everybody to death. Game time, Bryan. The culture is solid. You're talking about something that happened 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about. Well, that's what he was
Drew.
saying, that it was impressive that it didn't come out and stuff with all that happening.
Yeah, my thing is that they were good enough to win a division, but I think that shit does add up, man. I do think every little bit helps. Trust me, coming from Dallas, it hasn't always been about the talent, believe it or not. Sometimes it's coaching because we go with our buddies instead of who's qualified, which is why everybody's so excited. I know everybody gets nauseated by the Christian Parker thing, and I know Momo called me, and I was working in the rain today.
We're excited to be excited about new things, new shiny toys. Like, let's be real, man.
But
it's
he's like, you got. I mean, it's a big if. I'm like, everything's an if, Momo. All we're saying is, and Phil, I want your opinion.
Yeah,
on
but
this.
if you're a betting
All
man
I'm
and you're looking at
saying
the odds and you're like, okay, I like the odds.
I like what I'm seeing, and this is not normal. Yeah, I liked what I saw with Eberflus based on what he did the first time around under Rob Ryan. Remember
when he was our linebackers
under
coach.
Ryan.
I was excited
That's how
about
long it's been.
about him becoming that defensive coordinator then. But when he went and became a defense coordinator, he did very, very well in Indianapolis. So it's like, then he became a head coach. This whole thing kind of went downhill for him since
most
then.
I think most Eagle fans would admit that he had a lot to do with the young development of their young stars in the secondary. That is a good thing to have. He's never called plays, so we're not here to say he's the end-all, be-all. What we're here to say is we're excited, and we're banking on, and we like the fact that our biggest rival is an in-division rival that's who he comes from. So you would think he would know a little bit about Jalen Hurts. What scares me, I don't know about you, Phil, but what scares me when we play Jalen is his legs, his able to extend the play and cut your throat with his legs. And he throws the deep ball well, which is why it's going to be interesting because they're going to have an advantage, right, Phil? Eagles are going to have an advantage of how they're going to run their offense. Nobody is going to know what they're going to do. We think we can guess, but Sean Mannion's going to bring an offense that we don't really know, right? I mean, he's not going to put a square peg in a round hole. We saw what the Kellen Moore did with Jalen. So without AJ is going to be the trick. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the Dallas defense, some would say a lot of young guys. I don't know. I mean, what's your thought with the Dallas defense and what you've seen so far, if you've seen anything, Phil, in this early mini camps?
Yeah, when to jump back a little bit before I go onto the defensive side, as you're talking about Hurts and that, like, to me, like, is if you have a solid game plan, what you're gonna do going, basically running routes and everything. I think just get the ball to the open guy. I think it's just and I know that's a little bit easier said than done because obviously you have to read defenses and everything as well too. But if you're making this offense Hurts friendly, I think you're gonna have a lot of slants going across, drag routes as well too. So I mean, let those guys get into open space, especially if they're kind of doing some juke outs and then in kind of movements and stuff. So I think I'm interested to see what happens there. I just think when you're talking about him being a really good runner, he got 4 lanes there. That 4 lanes where all one of his offensive linemen got to get a good push in one direction, and he can take off in those directions. And your linebackers, they definitely have to have their heads on a swivel as well too. So, I mean, there's a lot to be said there. So I think that helps with when the offense breaks down. Maybe he doesn't see that open guy, but as long as he doesn't have happy feet, I think he's going to be good. But again, nice 4 lanes with an offensive line that at least one of those guys tends to do their job in those plays as well too. So, but when you look at the defensive side of the ball, man, I'm one of those guys that, yes, I am drinking the Kool-Aid in the sense that I love what this defense is. I don't love every single piece of the chess pieces on the board. Those are the ones where you can't change every single thing, but the fact that you change so many things, you got some amazing safeties back there, but they're little safeties. But they're not afraid to get their heads in there like a chihuahua and just bite the hell out of you as well too. So I'm excited about that as well too. But again, is it elite stuff? We don't know. But again, is it better looking at least than what last year's was? I think we can all say yes, and at least you have a defensive coordinator that cares. He's sitting there talking to people. Again, that was my thing. Like, there was nothing at any point where I was seeing video or talking where he's, even if he was high-fiving, smacking people, kind of like getting people in there. Like, when I saw Quinn, what's the Quinn flashback? Quinn's, you see him getting hands on people, pushing people as well too. Again, the defense eventually wore down in the sense that you were able to rush these certain edges because they were pass rushing, and he had to adapt. It couldn't do the pass rushing anymore. But at least he was involved in there. He was in there. That one made him a really good defensive coordinator. So I think seeing a guy, not only coach somebody, but seeing their skills and saying, hey, look, man, you're a little slow when you're making this step. Maybe if you go ahead and like cheat a little bit into the outside, giving him advice as well too, not expecting him to go, okay, man, you're going to get out here and you got to run laps a bunch of times till your speed gets up. You got to be a little bit more realistic. And I think you have at least a guy with a defensive mind to do those things. What, is it going to work or not? We don't know, but at least he's going to try, and if it ain't working, he's not going to keep shoving the damn peg into that same hole. He's going to try a different peg, so again, at least I love the football minds that we have. I see a lot, and I'm not saying this is the equal, but I see a lot of shoddy, but now on the defensive side, a guy with a mind and is going to be able to go, okay, I want to use this guy this way, set him up later on to do this and stuff. So when you see those two guys together, I bet is like geek ass talk. So I'd be interested to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, we're raving over the coaching staff that won 7 wins last year, but this is an all new defensive staff, and we like what they've done.
Yeah, we're allowed to be excited. It's our team.
Yeah, I mean, look, the proof is in the pudding here. Eagles won 11 games, less than probably what a lot of people thought. I had them at 10. They won 11. I know
they won less.
13,
they won less
14.
than I was probably thinking they're going to be on 13 because I thought
I had them.
Yeah,
at 10,
even with the
11.
struggles, I thought the offense would still be able to get it because I mean you have a running game there that's like hand the son of a bitch the ball and just let him run, and I think. When teams were able to start doing that, because of the line, I think that's
all right. You bring up running game, and Jimbo, it brings up a point. I don't want to forget about the chat, guys. So, Jimbo brings up just off topic, but we'll talk about it. O.J. Simpson is not going to be recognized in a new Bills stadium. Which, just quickly, I'm not surprised. What's your thought on that?
Well, I mean, Chris Benoit is not going to be in the WWE memorial shit for going forward. So I mean, like, yeah, you do some batty ass shit, and guess what, man? People will leave you behind. I can't say I'm surprised. There even when you go beyond what he was being accused for and all that stuff, and let's say he did do it, whatever. He still did other shit, man. There was still a lot of other shit that he did, with Vegas and robberies and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like, dude. Like, you can't blame a franchise for wanting to,
Logan
keep stuff like
Motorsports is in the house.
What's going on, man?
Eagles Drew says excitement doesn't win football games.
I love
either
it.
Does
Jimbo.
either that. What did Jimbo say?
He says Phil has the production value of a Taylor Swift concert. Looks great, man.
Yeah, he's the best, man. He's the best when he shows up.
Yeah, I know.
Logan Motorsports. Real quick, everybody say a prayer for Logan. His brother-in-law's mom passed away yesterday. So, Logan Motorsports, everybody say a prayer for him and his family. It sucks, bro. Phil's been through that, Logan. So, everybody say a prayer to Logan. Again, we're just talking football. I'll be here for you all season, Logan, when things start to go south for your Eagles. You could always count on us to not rub it in.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. I mean, I'm not like that. I just never been like that. I just was, even when we beat teams as well too. I just wasn't the kind of person that kind of rubbed it in someone's face as well too. You know,
man, where the hell have you been, brother?
But I do like the shit talking. I can't get away from it as well too. So it's like when it's there and it's on present, I like it as well too. So kind of one of those best of both worlds.
I'll be at Pink's if Dallas goes to the Super Bowl this year. I won't go to the game. I'll go maybe tailgate. I may have to take 2 weeks off. I may have to go tailgate.
Get some X-Lax, man.
You know, and then go find a place to watch the game, and then I'll have to fly to Dallas for the parade. But yeah, man, that would be it. We were going to go to the Ram game, and then I was looking at prices. I'm like, hey, it's a little pricey to fly all the way out there, and then it's just kind of like.
Especially not knowing the lay of the land as well too. I mean, that's usually when you don't know the lay of the land.
I was still gonna do it, Phil.
Yeah.
Until Mike Tagg he told me he's having the
tailgate.
Yeah, tailgate in Dallas. Makes too much sense just to stay there. So if anybody wants to go, hit me up. I have the hotel we're staying at.
Oh, is it
There's
true?
still vacancies there. So yeah, Mike Tagg's gonna be there. There's already a built-in tailgate on game day. We could start, so that'll be fun. I'm working on. I got to reach out to Mike. We're gonna do something to have something. Maybe I'll give something away. We'll figure all that out, but it'll be fun. Eagles Drew Logan back to back, baby. We run this division. You did the last 2 years, brother. Tailgating is trash in LA. Yeah, is it interesting? Interesting. But anyway, as we circle back, I wanted to get your
circle jerk. What do you say?
I want to circle back. Vinny Hagen, he knows what I'm talking about. No back to back to back. You stop at a back to back.
You ain't wiping your ass.
My thing is this: they are raving reviews regarding Jaden Blue, and I quote. And I quote, as soon as I find it, and I quote, a night and day change for the Dallas Cowboys running back early in year 2. Well, he has come in a different man.
Yeah. So Bryan and I, we were talking before, and I said there were some ideas that I had for broadcast and themes and stuff going forward. And he's like, and of course, Bryan being Bryan, he's very critical of a lot of the work that I do. So you guys don't see that shit. What? It's like, why am I doing this and you're only doing that? It's just like he's very weird like that. But anyways, as we're talking about this, we're talking about trading camps, and we're talking about seeing these guys in motion. I think Blue is one of those guys. When I saw him in college, obviously there were some explosive plays, there were some things there, but I never really saw that it factor. Then when he gets into the league, I was like, okay, I'm just interested to see him play, behind the line, kind of opening it up, and then I want to see him in open space. I think that's the biggest thing. That was something when we watched Deuce Vaughn, and I'm going to go down the Deuce hole. Yeah, that's a Deuce hole.
Your boy.
Yeah, we never saw, every time he got the ball, he was always swarmed in the backfield, so you never really got to see him in open space to be able to do that, do anything in there. So I was interested to see if he was going to be able to do that in another team. So, with the line that we had, especially in the interior, I was really looking forward to that. But then you started hearing about the coaching staff being very critical about him. And to me, it was kind of more of like, how, what's going on here? Like, you hand a fucking ball, you run it forward into a hole. Like, it's not rocket science, And to me, it's like, what is he not doing? And I think that's a lot of the times we don't get to see, we don't get to hear. Let's be real. Some of these guys don't really ask those particular questions, or when those questions are asked, they don't really get into those type of details. And this is kind of where I want coaches to be able to hold people accountable. We want to know too, what the hell is going on, man. It's just like, and so that's my thing. I want to see, because I haven't seen anything from him. So what has he been working on? What has been different? Is he now, when he hits the holes, there's a burst of speed? Was he tippy-toeing? Was he thinking about it? Was he, I don't know. Did he have a war flashback? I don't know what's going on.
No, it was more, like coming out of college, he wasn't a professional, immature.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Right?
He wasn't studying the playbook.
Didn't take practice serious. Didn't have the playbook. Again, this is a
But
guy
when you're good,
who's
but when you're good, I mean, they still play
Right.
you, right?
Go
They
ahead.
still play you, and,
Well,
and that's why it's like you're not good enough.
yeah,
to
but
that
in Pee-wees and in high school and even in college to some degree, right, Phil? You can get away with just raw talent, correct?
yeah, yeah, true, yeah.
Right?
In college, hell yeah.
So
Reggie Bush.
when you get into the pros, now you got to start talking about pass protection, not getting your quarterback killed.
Reggie Bush.
And especially our quarterback who's missed almost 3 full seasons when it comes to the injuries that he's had out of the 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they love his attitude. Listen, you can't doubt his speed, his catching ability from the one area of Jaden Blue who always had an issue, and he will be off this team very fast, is fumbling.
Oh, yeah.
We will see how he.
So let me ask you a question, and I'm going to ask the chat this because
ball.
I'm going to think. When you think running backs fumbling, who is the first running back? And it doesn't have to be from your team. Who is the first running back you think of when you think of NFL history and fumbling?
Ernest Biner.
Okay, Ernest Biner. I think of Ricky Waters. That's my first person that I think
For
of.
who? For what?
For just
for who? For what?
So I mean,
Remember
I'm just interested to see who the chat thinks of. Like immediately, there's always usually
I remember
some
Ernest
of that
Biner.
flash is in your head.
But I'm older than you, so Ernest Biner was running into the end zone, brother, and he fumbled. It's got to be Williams and Phil Maffa. So again, the chat. Who do you guys think?
I think there's a lot of similarities there. I mean,
fumbler?
obviously he's not going to have that veteran leadership, and we don't know if he always
Barber
falls forward.
says Jimbo.
Tiki Barber.
I think it's Tiki Barber says Drew. Okay.
Yeah, that's another one. That was
very good. Very good.
Yeah, that's good ones. Those are good ones.
I think Tiki started out as a fumbler and then got good.
Fumbler!
But yeah,
then he started playing defense in Tampa. It was
again, nobody's saying
that's his twin brother.
I mean,
oh shit, never mind.
Like Drew says, Caleb Downs is an ex-Ed Reed, and
oh yeah, I mean Drew's never gonna have anything positive to say. I mean, if he would have got on the Eagles,
Jaden
he would have fucking been. He'd have been jerking off in the corner. Let's be real.
Blue is an ex-Jameer Gibbs. Settle, in the words of Jerry Jones, settle down a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of bit. Let's be real, man. A lot of bit. That shit's need to be calmed down a lot. Just a lot of bit.
But listen, this is what we do this time of year, Drew. I'm sure the Eagles fans are looking at a guy that they drafted, and you're rock hard right now thinking about how he's going to play. Listen, Jaden Blue was never not a talented football player. If he can become, I think what Jaden Blue, Phil, he has to play on special teams. People forget that you just can't be a one-dimensional player in the NFL unless you're unbelievable at it, right?
Well, I mean, we need to get the bigger roster. Then we can have a special teams roster, right? Just that does special teams and is your like 4th and 5th string guy, and it's not just some random third stringer that you're most likely going to need. Let's say, for example, with a nickel, or not a nickel, but a 3-4 type of defense. You need 2 middle linebackers, and then where's your other middle linebacker? Is he running special teams?
Heineken tonight,
so it's
brother.
like, yeah, I mean,
Heineken.
A lot of questions there, especially with the roster. Again, I'm a big advocate for making this roster size bigger. So, I'm just hoping if I said that very clearly, the NFL will hear.
Well, see, that's the problem. If Jaden Blue is going to be a consistent player for this team, he's going to have to be a gunner. He's going to have to do something, a returner. Now, he had done that, but I don't know about you. I'm a little bit skeptical and scared to have him back there returning anything if he indeed has a fumbling problem in college. That's my issue. It's like we saw, that's an issue. Again, we'll see. Just because
that's cool,
once,
Drew, but his presence isn't there. He ain't a leader.
Remember
that.
Emmett was a big fumbler early on, and then he learned how to not fumble. And I'm not saying he's Emmett, but I'm just telling you, you can take one.
Well, that's the one thing. Well, that's one of those things that you can learn. Yeah, it's like you can learn not to fumble.
That's all I'm saying. You can learn it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at your art here, your graphics, and you got overshown. So let's go on that side of the ball a little bit. DeMarvion Overshown, I don't know if we've talked about it. He's going to be the green dot, but
The blue dot?
there's one, the blue dot per Mark, right? He's the blue dot.
He's the blue dot.
Well,
And
now-
as by Assman,
see-
he's the pink
see,
dot.
Mark, you can't make a mistake around us, brother. We won't.
Oh, we
ever
won't let it down. No, Caleb down.
But through all the mini camps and everybody in the chat, there's only been one linebacker who hasn't left the field. Can you name that linebacker? There's been one linebacker who seems to be on the field at every turn for the Cowboys through OTAs and mandatory minicamp. I will help you out. That would be D. Winters.
D. Winters, okay.
D. Winters is the one guy who he never leaves the field. And again, he had his first opportunity. Remember, he was behind Greenlaw and who's the big time linebacker?
And he played next
Warner,
to Warner.
Fred Warner.
Yeah, he played next to Warner.
And then when Greenlaw left, he finally got his opportunity. And he played every game, had over 100 tackles last year. And that was, again, that's another guy people are sleeping on. And again, I'm just letting you know from the people that I talk to, he's doing everything and more that they want. So I think that's, would I like another? I would love another linebacker. Sure I would. But this scheme has got me kind of confused, Phil, because, how many do they need? Who fits? We know that they like last year's rookie out of Syracuse. We know, obviously, Leah Fowles now gaining weight and is going to play outside linebacker. You got Jay-Sean Barham, who I know Randy McIntyre. I see him in here. Now
I see Shamir James a lot now.
Yeah, we got Shamar James, coming into the second year, a speedster out of Florida who's still learning to play consistently linebacker, but he is an athlete. So I think people who don't know the team don't really know, but
Obviously,
I think I don't know, man. I'm really looking forward for this linebacker core. I would like another one. And I told Wade this. If you think you have enough, Phil, go get you one more. Because I'm worried about the edge rushing because
definitely
I'm in that.
There's a lot of.
I like where we are
there.
compared to where we were last year. Last year, this time, we didn't have down a Clowney, and we thought we were going to have Micah, right? And then we traded Micah a week before the season. At least we have Rashawn Gary. We have a first-round draft pick, We have Ezraku coming back. We brought back Sam Williams. That would be the area I would look to get another impact guy, whether it would be bring Clowney back, but I don't see that happening. Do you see Clowney coming back to the Cowboys?
No, unfortunately not. I'm with you in the sense of getting one more of each of those positions, whether you're a defensive end or a linebacker. But again, that's going to be one of those things where it's when training camp starts to cut people and those things, because like right now, I don't think there's anything unless you're going for like a Bobby Wagner that's going to be able to show your younger guys what to do and how to be a professional. I think that's something that he brings, leadership as well. I mean, yeah, they talk about him in coverage. That's where his liability as well. But when you talk about the run game and what he can do there, I think switching him over to maybe possibly, I don't know how he would transition, so I just say this suggestively. Switching a guy like that, when you're looking at a guy like trying to move him out to the outside linebacker position, Bobby Wagner to me is more capable in that sense, just because again, you're taking him away from possible coverage, which is one of his weakest things, and now you're making him more of a pass rusher, or just in the sense of just being able to hold off that edge when you're looking at the run game, possibly making sweeps and stuff. So I like that possibility, but when you're looking at the talent that's there right now, I don't think there's anything there until you wait till somebody's garbage kind of gets released and you kind of shift, kind of push through that. Because again, if we're talking about Parker and what, I'm pretty sure there's probably some people on this roster that, he necessarily doesn't exactly like, but he's going to have to kind of push with as well too. But because you can't make a whole transitional roster within 1 year. But I think with the way the contracts were laid out, I think at least you were able to make, man, again, when you look at each position, I do like the potential there. I do like the names that are there. I mean, they got to prove it in the NFL, and it's got to be proven together as a defense. But if you got your defense communicating as much as they were and not as confused as they were the previous year, I think that's already a positive step in the right direction.
Yeah, I totally agree. Howie says, I was just saying I'm happy he's getting the award. Who's getting the award? Caleb Downs is getting the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award from Ohio State. Yeah, again, you don't need to apologize. He's going to be a great player in this league. Every indication, obviously, health. I've noticed Caleb Downs is already looking like he's put on some serious muscle since he's just in the couple months that he's been drafted. It's dude, I saw him on the podcast and he looks freaking jacked. So yeah, I'm excited about it. He's already the quarterback. He knows everything. People are like, well, you're supposed to know everything. Rookies normally don't know it all like that and aren't vocal. I like everything about Downs. I hope he shuts a lot of people up and hope he is great. And, I hope he is what the scouts say he is and what he projects to be. Again, he's the guy we wanted, Lockdowns. He's the guy that we wanted.
1, 2, lockdown. That dumbfounded look
Mark
in Mark's
had no
eyes.
Idea. Mark had no idea, and I did, and I was like, okay, but Mark is looking at me like Mark was too busy working up a.
The only time you see an expression like that on a person's face is when you like take your nephew's nose and he doesn't understand how the hell you did
Lockdowns.
Like.
Oh shit, that was so funny. I was so tired though. I don't think I could laugh.
Dude, again, I wish I could have jumped. I wish I would have jumped into that thing. I think it would have been more of a celebration if the camera hadn't gotten knocked over and we were all trying to catch the camera.
That was Randy. That was Randy Stites. Fucking
so we were
Randy.
like, I was about to jump up and do this whole thing on top like that, and he like bam, and they're just like. And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
but I grabbed it. I was on the ball. And I said it.
But that kind of calmed us down, like immediately. Like, oh
good.
Shit! Like,
but that's the guy who everybody.
Well, yeah,
I think we forget.
Well, we
that
were going
was our
in there.
dream scenario.
Yes, we were talking about it. The
that
trade up.
Kenyon
What we're going to give it
Mitchell,
away.
Drew.
We were willing. Some of us were willing to give away 2
up.
ones. Yeah, we were trying to give away 2 ones.
We were trying to trade up multiple times from 12.
But that says a lot even about how the offseason has gone, Brian, is that like they tried as well in some of these free agents to go out and get.
Sometimes you got to get lucky.
Yeah.
That's my thing,
sometimes it's not going to happen. These linebackers that went to the Raiders as well, too. I mean, you didn't get some of those. Boom. We got extremely lucky, man. You redraft today. I don't think, Downs doesn't make it there. I think maybe people have buyer's remorse and maybe in some of their situations. When you look at, like, nothing against it, but when you look at Love there, at the running back position, I mean, he comes into the league the way the structure is. He's already one of the top running backs paid in the league. That's just ridiculous, To me, I always think there should be a cap there. No cap, right?
Well, I like positional caps. I do. I like a positional cap, percentage of the salary cap type thing. I mean, I do. But that's a different argument. That's not happening. Hey, did you see where Terrence Steele was named a much maligned, right? A much maligned Terrence Steele has been named to the all non-drafted team as far as players who have excelled and weren't drafted. Remember, Terrence Steele was not drafted. It was a UDFA. And he is the longest tenured offensive lineman on the Dallas Cowboys. So it's kind of interesting how he gets crapped on because he's not unbelievable. But it goes back to my point where we had Terrence Steele last year, Phil. We had a revolving door at left tackle. And we still ran the ball 6th best in the league. Dak Prescott was only sacked, I think, 32 times, and he was hit one of the least amount of times as any quarterback. You said, well, why'd you only win 7 games? Because our defense was as bad as you can get. Yeah. But it wasn't perfect. To Drew's point, Dallas was 18th in the red zone, and that's
hell yeah, their red zone was terrible, fucking terrible, yeah.
But I played the video. They recognize that. Now, whether they can increase that, It's not like they're not, and I think
You got the weapons to do it. I think that's the biggest thing. You have the weapons
that would
to do
be
it.
scary, Phil. If there were 3 overall in offense and the red zone was 5 overall, and you still only won, then you'd be like, "What the?" Remember how many close games we lost early in the year?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I would be like, and that was.
Let's be
before we
real. I
went
mean,
on
when you
that
look
run
when you
where
look
we
at
beat
this,
those 3 teams.
we understand what it is. I mean, I think the offense again is an amazing unit. But when you look at this team, they're very slow at the start. They don't tend to get going in the first quarter. They don't score a lot. They don't, so that if you can get the first drive, you're like, okay, maybe they're going to get going here. But once they, a lot of the times they don't connect on that first drive. So to me, they're an offense that, yeah, they're good, but they take some time to get going. And I think you need a defense that can complement them. I think, when you look at, again, I'm going to point it out, but when you look at the Chiefs and those Super Bowl runs that they had, their defense kept them in games for then Mahomes to win it later on in the game. But that was the defense keeping them in there. So, I mean, that's what you're hoping that your defense can be able to do. Just at least keep you in games. You're not expecting them to be perfect and the top number 1 defense in the league. But, man, you got to be better than what they were last year. And it was just one of those things where it felt like it was street ball. That it was just like, oh yeah, just toss it deep and I'll catch it and stuff. Everybody's getting Randy Mossed on and stuff. So it's just it was ridiculous. It was a highlight of last year. Everybody's highlight tape of last year, every teams that they has like that, it has a Cowboys defense just getting beat deep. It was just ridiculous. And again, it was not hard to play against this team. Especially if you started putting multiple type of coverage, multiple routes in the sense of option routes, where you're, for example, what Kellen Moore likes to do in the sense that, letting the wide receiver run and see it open, run a different direction, and the quarterback be on the same page. That right there would be perfect against this defense, because this defense is not really good at that second motion last year. So I'm interested to see, because now you're hearing. Not hearing, but when you look at the tapes and you look at the sounds of how these guys have football minds, they're good at adapting to what's being done on the field. And I think that's, again, something you need. You need guys that are going to be able to, oh, hey, where'd the ball at? You don't need somebody like that on the field. You need somebody that's going to they're going to be switching real quick. They're calling it out. That's the stuff that you need. And I think that's at least the direction that we're going. So, again, be excited, man, if you're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah. See here, grab the chat here. Eagles drew game time. The NFL has tape of Dallas, so will the offense will struggle.
Yeah, they should. I mean, anybody.
Dallas, so
yeah.
will the offense still struggle, especially with very hard schedule?
That depends on that defense. How good is that? How good is that? How
Mm.
good is the coordinator to be able to game plan for it? I mean, I've seen this team struggle against defenses.
Yeah.
Was that them struggling? A lot of the times it was sometimes shooting in the foot, but a lot of times I saw those
Dallas
defenses
averaged 30
smuggling.
points a game last year, and that was the first time shot. We keep hearing, Phil, well, this is Christian Parker's first time calling plays. Well, it was a defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks that never called the defense going into last year. Yeah. Why? Because he was with Dallas, and we know that he never called a defense, and yet he wanted his defenses was great. As far as the offense, that was the first time that Schottenheimer was the head coach calling the plays here as the head coach. I think he's called plays before, but not as the head coach. Mm-hmm. It's a lot on a man's plate, and I thought he did well. I'm here to say they don't need to be 3. If they're top 10 on offense, again, not many teams have more firepower than Dallas will have on offense.
Well, and when you look at this as well too, I mean, nothing against Shoddy. I'm really a big fan of Shoddy calling the offense as well too. But when you look at the offensive coordinator as well, and Clayton Adams, I really love his mind as well too. So if all of a sudden he had to start calling the plays on this team, obviously you'd probably see a lot more running. But I don't fear him taking control of it too. I think it's one of those type of offenses that, you just got, the mistakes are when the players shoot themselves in the foot on the field. We all see it. We all see those occasional flags as well too. I mean, every team has them. So I think those are the things that kind of, the timing of those false starts when they all of a sudden happen, they put you back and then you can't make that third down. Those are the things that shoot you in the foot. And then, this team has definitely been very guilty of that, especially in the red zone. And I think that's what made them, drop very big, because you look at the previous year, they were amazing in the red zone, right? So this isn't a constant thing. It's not something that they don't have, and we just need to get something going, No, they've shown that they can do it. They got to just show that they can continue to do it. I think, as well as, you may not get as many opportunities, or you may get more opportunities. I think you might get more opportunities because your defense is making stops and stuff, hopefully. So again, I look forward to what this offense is going to do. But again, is the defense making complementary plays? Is the special teams not fucking up, like missing field goals and making fair catch waves and running forward still? Those are those little things. So Brian.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
What's up?
So yeah, when you look about this defense, I think that's the number one thing that makes me worry is the edge rushing. Again, I do like Izaraku, but again, he can disappear. I don't know what he's going to be.
I have an idea. He was a very good two-way player at the end of the year. His problem was he was banged up, and he didn't get home as far as getting the sacks. Remember, he was our best run stuffer at edge rusher. I'll be curious to see. It's a lot of projection. We're not here to put guaranteed statements. We need to see what he could do, but we love the player. He's a high pedigreed player, Donovan Ezaraku, and I would think he would play better in this scheme than a traditional hand down against these mammoth offensive linemen. Yeah. Right? He's going to be standing up. It's a little different. Again, I really love the player. Again, if you look at him, he's definitely bulked up even more. We always talk about a year in the program. Again, there's a lot of upside here.
That's true.
But that's what this time is about.
Yeah,
again,
and Drew's correct. I mean, Gary
is
right now our best one.
On what the Eagles are doing and how Crazy Eyes can possibly be good, even though he's banged up. Eagles could be good on offense. I'm not here to say they can't, but I know Dallas will be good on offense. What I don't know, I think Dallas will be better on defense. I just don't know how they're going to be 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, Phil, in a crucial spot. Are they going to be able to get home and stop? That's my issue right now, and we haven't seen anything yet. I mean, how good is Jay Sean Barham going to be?
Yep.
Yeah, everybody's saying everybody you draft is going to be a Hall of Famer. Now, I'm just telling you what he got his guy, Phil. Christian Parker earmarked certain players in this draft, and they were able to get it for him. Jay Sean Barham looks like a friggin' menace out there. Randy McIntyre will talk about it. Jay Sean Barham looks like a menace. And you can laugh and you can giggle and you go, there he goes. Just wait and see. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you that. But I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised with Jay Sean Barham.
And I think that's what we need. I mean, when you look at who's going to be there, like right now, I mean, who's your two middle linebackers right off the bat? I mean, you got Overshone and D. Winters, right? And so, you adding that guy into the rotation, I think, man, that's definitely a positive, because I feel like you're not going to have a big, huge drop off when your depth comes in there. And, again, a guy that's possibly going to be starting in a couple of years, but at least somebody you're jumping out and get, because you don't know how great. Maybe Overshone does have a breakout year. All of a sudden, you can't renegotiate your contract because we all know who his agent is there. But he's a good piece to be going forward with as well too. So you want him to get some experience, and I think he's going to get a lot of that as well too. Because let's be real, this defensive linebacker room was a lot lacking, and I think I'm with Bryan in the sense that it looks a lot better now. Is it all pro material? No, we're not saying that, but we're definitely saying that it's gotten a lot better, and I really like the addition of D. Winters as well. I like the draft pick in the sense of Barnum. Yeah, I mean, you're going in the right direction. At least, when I look on tape, I like the way he's getting around blocks. Again, I need those. Are they coming in there being all pros? No, man. There's a lot of things when you look at their tape that they're going to need to really kind of pick up on, and that's where those guys, the defensive coordinators, defensive linemen, kind of start to help him in the sense of making that counter move. I think that was something that you weren't seeing. As soon as that first move wasn't successful, he was having problems with the counter move. But I loved how he was just getting around people as well, with them not being able to get hands on him. That's something that was very impressive on his tape. And so I want to see him do that in the preseason. That's why I love the preseason. That's why I love training camp.
Yeah.
You know, Momo can say all his shit all he wants, but I love it because now I can see people in motion in a football uniform actually moving when a ball is snapped and being switched around in the backfield. I want to see how they're reacting. I mean, I don't need everybody to be playing perfect, but I want to see that one guy and how he's reacting in his space as well too, because that's going to say a lot when he's playing with guys that are starting and as well too. So to me, I look on a lot of that.
See, CZ said he's excited for Rocco Underwood. I don't know who he is, but I'll take your word for it.
Man, be excited about it.
You know, we heard how good. You know,
I liked your safety, right? There was a safety they got that I liked, right?
Yeah. You like their
white dude,
Wisconsin safety or NC State? One of those. Oh no, Texas Tech. You like the Texas Tech safety? The big dude.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Randy McTech. Cowboys winning in the East. Shout out to Randy. What's up, brother? I think they're definitely going to be in on him, Randy. I think it's going to be a close race. I think injuries may play a part.
Definitely.
When I say injury, that means quarterback related. That's about it. Or unless you're decimated on the offensive line. But again, I think we're basically talking.
That way. I mean,
the only excuses would be quarterback. If Eagles lose Hurts, it's not. You know, if Dallas loses Dak, maybe they'll be better. No, I'm joking.
Sam Howell's gonna come in here and
if Jackson Dart goes down, you know,
you're gonna see Jameis Winston on this team the next following week.
Momo's in the house. What's up, brother? What's up? But yeah, I'm not here to poo-poo on him, CZ. I'm not here to poo-poo on anybody that you may think looks good early on. I would say a third-round pick at number 92 isn't a reach. That is a stud football player, and I just love what I be seeing here. But, you know, to Phil's point, we got to see it in training camp. Sean Barham, if there's a few guys to look for, remember, they will not play starters in the preseason necessarily, but Dallas has got an interesting team. There are going to be a lot of changing parts on that defense, I think, until they, you know, I mean, I know they're going to have a starting 11. I do know that, but I think it's going to be a lot of, you know, there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Well, I mean,
I'll be curious.
When you're talking about those things, you know, where they're talking about multiple positions, that's where, like, all of a sudden an offense comes out, they put a tight end on the line, all of a sudden he comes out in motion, and he goes out, spreads out, and then all of a sudden you got 4 wide receivers in the set. You know, and it's a linebacker that can go out there, or maybe a safety that can, you know, now you have, again, I think there's going to be a lot of 3 safeties on the field, whether that safety is a nickel, whether, you know, because I think Downs is not the only guy that can cover tight ends and wide receivers as well, too, when it comes to that safety room and what you've added to it. And I even like Locke and how he what he brings to the table as well, too.
Locke, that's another good name, man.
Yeah,
PJ Locke.
He's a solid depth.
And
I think, you know, he already knows the system, right?
Ball, knows where he's going. You're not going to again, we led the league in 30-yard plays against
because they were trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Most of them like, hey, what's going on?
I mean, it was
which way did he go, George?
It's amazing that we were able to almost get swept, but almost sweep a team like the Eagles last year with that defense where they were guessing a lot. But it's just amazing to me that they were able to do what they did with that bad defense. Now, it did get better after the trade. Let's be honest. It did get better. They did go on, and that was a huge 3-game winning streak where they beat Kansas City. They beat the Eagles, and who was the other team that they beat? I know I'm missing 3 really good over 5. Well, as it turned out, the Chiefs from the Dallas game took a nosedive, but teams that were good. We hear that Dak can't beat teams over 500, but you know, again, his wins last year were against some good teams. So We'll see. Again, I think this team is going to be more than Dak Prescott. It needs to be if they're going to be any.
hell yeah.
If they're going to have any shot to compete
He's not
for
one
the East,
again.
Phil.
He gets paid like it, but he's not one of those type of quarterbacks. He needs his team.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. He needs to be helped along the way a little bit. He can make all the throws.
Yeah, Kid Cowboy.
But
That's
if the
awesome to
game's
hear.
on the
He's doing-
line.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, what's that?
I guess he has a channel doing some videos, man. Just keep at it. You know,
Yes.
You'll learn what works,
again.
what doesn't work, and that's just how it is. Trial and error, man. Trial
Again,
and error.
Kid Cowboy, I appreciate anybody who puts themselves out there. I did say that in one of my videos. I said, anybody is entitled to their opinion, right? That's fine. But if you're gonna have an opinion and then put yourself on camera, that's a little different. It's easy to sit behind like a keyboard or come in and out of your cave when things are going well, Hamid. But it's to put yourself out there and then have to be everybody critique you is a different. I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
you're doing fine, brother. Just speak from the heart, and I think that'll be very therapeutic. And maybe that's the good luck we need to get Dallas turned around. Glimmer Man, what's up, brother? You need a team around him, but dude makes the throws.
Yeah, I love
All
his throws.
year
I love
he showed up. Don't expect any
Down the
QB to carry a
seams.
team on their backs week after week.
No. No. But he needs to be able to win those
Dude.
particular games that we really need him to win.
Drew, I ain't
But that
never
defense was
gonna stop
constantly
with him.
scoring, and so there were some times where I'm like, how the hell he can't keep this up the whole time? Like can't do this every single week. It was just really really bad. So again, we need our defense to start make some stops. Get into that
Just
team
once
range.
it would be nice for the defense to go and turn the ball over and look at that and go, no, effing do something.
Yeah, go kneel the
Instead of
fucking
the-
ball, bitch.
It's like instead of the deer in the headlights, he was just kind of like, you guys can't stop nothing. I can't do it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
guys need to. Oscar Perini, what's up?
Yeah, we all know that
Gametime,
stare
do
that you
know
would have. Yeah.
You have a certain Jobu doll curse going. Got to burn that doll. Yeah. Dude, tread lightly. Me and Phil saw Mark. He threatened Momo to kick him out of the draft house based on Momo making a joke. I went upstairs. Phil's like, "Yeah, I got to get out of here."
It's all
He knew
uncomfortable.
I can't keep my mouth shut, so I went upstairs. I'm like, I need to get away from this fucking guy. He's threatening, and tell you, man, when Mark gets hangry, it gets ugly quick. No, I don't know. I don't know what that happened. Is Momo still here?
I don't even know. I don't know. He
30
probably ran out.
What's up, Marcus? How are you, brother? Momo, yeah, he came in to say hi, and he's already live.
2%, man. That's
Should have
2%
thrown
of my
that thing
boy.
out onto the interstate. Yeah, he sold his soul to the devil, man. Hey, Linda, how are you? You got Joe DeMasi in here. What's up, brother? Watched Major League the other day. The Cuban guy
I love that, yeah.
did good when he said, F you, Joe Boo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I pointed that out, right? That the moment that he said F you, Joe Boo, he hit a homer. Like, I'm just saying, man. I'm pointing things together. Like, you can only lead a horse to water, right?
Yeah. But we sit here.
Yeah, like,
What's today's date? Today's 27th. A
27th.
month and 2 days. There's 30 days in this month, so 1 month away before it all gets started. Let's go over some of the schedule here. Dallas will start on July 29th, and Oxnard will run through August 18th.
that is going to be a camp. That is going to be a packed camp. Like, I'm going to say that. Like, remember previous years, we've been kind of showing that message about, we're not happy with how you're doing this team. People are not showing up to these camps as well, too. This is good. I can already tell you this. I mean, Brian, we know this. I mean, we have that feeling. The way that this team is at least looking better. Again, not are they all pros and Hall of Famers? We're not saying that. We don't know what the future is going to bring with this team, but they look at least better. Things you can get hyped out about in the sense of each position and where they needed to improve. So that's what's going to get this fan base excited about watching this team, seeing some of these pieces on the defense. I mean, how many times, were they excited about seeing the defense roll out there? Oh man, I can't wait to see Murray out there. Woo, Murray, kiss on my ass. That was never happening. So it's just, I'm interested to see, the competition between those two, the offense, the defense, when the fans are out there as well too, because that brings another element to the players that you're not getting there maybe at training camp. That I want to perform type of feeling, and being able to come up in certain plays. I think that brings out a lot as well in certain players. Now of course we always have those camp people that shine, that kind of disappear later on, and they tend to be wide receivers. But let's see what ends up happening. I mean, but again, I think Oxnard is going to be packed.
Yeah, well, you figure they start on the 29th. Yeah, they start on the 29th, and then the day to watch, like I said, it runs through the 18th. The day to watch is August 11th. That's the scrimmage at the Rams. So they'll go to the Rams. I'm not sure where the Rams
in California
have their yeah, I know it's in California, but I'm sure it's not far. They will go to their camp, and they will scrimmage the Rams on August 11th, have a day off, and then they will scrimmage their last day in Oxnard, August 18th. They will scrimmage the Saints.
Yep.
And then they will head home. They will have 3 days, and then they will pick back up on August 22nd for the game 2 at the Cardinals. So they'll come back to Oxnard, to Dallas, and then they'll go to Arizona for a preseason game 2, and then their final game will be at home against the Saints, August 28th. Yeah, at AT&T Stadium. So near New Year, new challenges. What's up, Coyote? How are you? Let's see, Drew, I have us as
yeah, he needs to see the defense. Definitely, I totally get it in that sense.
Yeah.
You definitely you need to see people move out around out there. You need to see people react. If people are still lost,
when you were that bad last year, you need to see how coaching matters. So as I remember,
it wasn't looking like he was eager after each play if they effed up.
Eagles went from last to first. So
let's be real, man. When something would happen, it wasn't like he was running over there real quick. Let me run over the play and see the reason why you messed up here. No, you never saw any of that. He just kind of was saying, "Well, let me do here." My book club is reading later. It didn't seem serious last year. So I think that at least you're gonna have some. If there's an F up, you're going to at least have some talking, whether it's yelling or anything like that, but you're going to at least have some talking on the defensive side to let's not make that mistake again, But again, if you're seeing guys that can't make the reads or can't make the adjustments, that's when you start adjusting your defense. And again, that's what you need. You need a guy that at least has the cojones to be able to do that. I think Eberflus wasn't like he was just sinking with the ship. He was just like, man, I'm just gonna I'm gonna go with what I think works, and just I'll use that as interviews and going, hey, I have a defense, and they just weren't smart enough. It's
Linda says Eagles won 11 games with that raggedy ass offense last year. If we see any inking of improvement, it will improve that. To hell with the selfish wide receiver, don't want them. Yeah, I hear you, Linda. That's kind of how we figure with our offense to definitely get better, especially in the red zone. If we get mid-pack on defense, we're going to be knocking on the door of playoffs. Whether we can make it with that schedule, I'm not here to say we can right now. I need to see some scrimmages. I need to listen to the people that I trust. But I wanted to talk about something.
Turning things around doesn't do that, even though the Patriots did that, itself. But it doesn't happen. But anyway, so Joe, the Pro Sports says, is anyone worried about the Giants? Their fans are major confident. Well, they should be, man. They got a really good coach. Yeah, I think they're going to be a threat. I mean, they have the ability to beat you in your game. Okay. So I think they should be confident. Now, whether they'll be a threat by the end of it, but yeah.
I was telling Mama, I want everybody. I need Washington to be better this year. Okay, I need Washington, to be better. I need the Giants to be good. That way, nobody can run over anybody. Iron sharpens iron. I really do believe that. I think in order for you to go far, it's tough to go far. Eagles win a division last year, a horrible division, with the 32nd, 30th, and 28th ranked defenses in the league, with the Washington, Dallas, and the Giants. And you win that division, and it didn't prepare you for shit going into the playoffs. So if we are able to make the playoffs, I want my division to be good. So, we play each other twice. That's the idea. We know everybody else's. On paper, it's a tough schedule, Phil, but you know how that goes. Yeah. What teams are going to take a step back, right? What teams are going to take a step back? That's
and which
the
ones
key.
are going to take a step
There
forward,
are going to be 3-4 teams that made the playoffs that won't make it this year. Mm-hmm. Who are they going to be? Will it be the Eagles? Will it be the Chicago Bears? Will it be the New England Patriots? These are questions that are going to be answered in due time. But I was looking at
do
this
have the Madden
article.
cover guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it. I was looking at there was an article on Pro Football Talk, and they were saying that the NFL is investigating this. I love this. Smaller shoulder pads are coming under close scrutiny due to injuries. Now, you played in an era where you had the bigger. Now, I'll go ahead and read the super chat. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, she goes, I think everyone is in agreement that all the teams in the NFC East got better. So, yes, the Giants and all the teams have been acknowledged fairly, I would say. Yes,
a good thing,
definitely.
Linda.
I would really agree. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Always bring in the knowledge, whether you want to hear it or not. She's spitting facts most of the time. So,
well, again, she's pretty respectful with it. She's not going to just lay over and let somebody be disrespectful. She's going to fire back like she should. But the smaller shoulder pads are coming under close scrutiny. Again, when I think of football, I think of the old school pads. And it's a misnomer that you are faster with smaller pads. The players just don't like the bigger pads. But I believe that actually helped in staying safe. Am I wrong, Phil?
They sucked, man. Bigger pads sucked ass. But yeah, I get it. I mean, in order to play, everybody's seen the movie. What's that one with Mark Wahlberg about the Philly guy, Invincible?
Yeah.
Vince Papale.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice
he goes with the shoulder. He goes with the smaller shoulder pads, and all of a sudden he can run down the field a little bit quicker, and everything. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're not going to protect you as much, man, but at least he has some kind of protection. I think those are personal choices. I think. I get them in the sense of just way you want to do protections, especially when you had a guy not too long ago have a heart attack on the field because of a possible, if he was wearing smaller pads, that wasn't going to help you too much in the chest area, so he wasn't taking a lot of absorption there. So I can see where they could probably make the adjustments, even if you maybe kept the shoulder parts of it itself. But let's be real, man. Guys always have a problem. If you're gonna have three major problems in your thing, it's always your shoulder, your back, and your knees, right? And those are the major 3 points. Once you mess one of those things up, that's kind of it. And I think that's what they're trying to do in the sense of the protection. But yeah, man, I hate its bigger pads. I remember playing as a wide receiver before I played quarterback, and I just had big pads like this. I could barely get around and try to catch the ball. Dirty Sanchez says there's been sissies. They don't have pads in rugby. Yeah, they're being sissies. They don't have pads in rugby. Yeah, that's the truth. And I know they're different sports and everything, but man, when you see those guys, there's no way in hell that I would want to go up and try to stop one of those Samoans and stuff and just going full force at you and don't really have they love the pain. They're like, oh man, you hit them really hard. They're gonna be all proud and happy for you that you hit them hard. They're like, let's go get a drink later on. They run you over. They're just gonna be like, just like a bug on your windshield. Yeah, man, those guys are awesome. They got a big ass heart.
Shot. But we are seeing athletes and people dropping. I would just say, just make the pads a little bit bigger.
Thank you very much, Dirty.
I think it's more intimidating. I think it's more intimidating. I don't know.
Well, man,
Plus,
again, when I look at when you look at those guys, for example, Darren Woodson, Moose. When you look at him, he was a lot smaller, but you look at those pads. Mike also, those big, huge pads, and just kind of yeah, man, they made it. They made something there, and they usually stop the head from going all the way back as well too. those guys have neck injuries as well too. So it's just anything that you can help with that. But to ban things, I think that's where it's not a helmet. When you're trying to protect brains from CTE and all that stuff, brain bruising. I totally get that particular part, especially with new technologies. But you can't tell me there's not a new technology that allows you to have smaller pads that would take a hit of absorption, especially with a billion-dollar industry that the NFL is. You can't tell me that this happened. I mean, we all saw the movie. What's that one with Heath Ledger where he's a knight and that girl makes a lighter armor? I can't even remember what it is. He has like really heavy armor.
Oh, yeah.
He has really heavy armor. She makes a lot of, and she even puts a Nike sign on it and stuff. But I'm just saying, man, the technology is there. It's like, it's like you can put a freaking, I'm just saying, you can do so many things with the NFL, especially when ideas are presented to you. It's just none of these guys come up with the ideas. I mean, you're seeing things in the XFL before, now you're seeing it in the UFL. That they eventually start bringing into the NFL. But again, it feels like a bunch of old dudes that aren't looking at how you can modernize the way the game is played. No, let's just start banning things and stuff. So I'm not going to be a fan of it. If they do it, I probably talked a little bit more about it than I should have. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. We need Titan pads. All right. Glimmer Man, I like it. Well, Titan pads. Titanium pads.
Yeah. Well, if you notice, they don't even wear pads in their pants hardly anymore. Remember the old school thigh pads and the tailbone pad? They don't do any of that. It's like booty then you wonder.
Yeah, your knees all fucked up. I don't feel any pain. Yeah, it's not about feeling pain now. We're talking about when you feel pain when you're like 40 and 50 years old. That's when you're gonna be feeling that damn pain, man. So it's just like, of course, when you're young, you're like, I'm not gonna regret that at all, So we all understand that. I think a lot of our viewership can totally relate to that little comment there. I mean, there's been some shit that we're just like, we look back and we're like, man, like any other day that would have messed me up. Like when I look back at one of those injuries that really kind of hit me, it has nothing to do with football, it has nothing to do with anything, but it definitely has to do with sports. It's one of those ones where it always starts out with a conversation of, hey, let's go ahead and just play this for fun. We'll just shoot around, Like my little brother and I were like, hey, we're going to shoot around some basketball. And then all of a sudden I was slammed into a wall and my back, I like fucked it up. Like, and I could barely walk out of that YMCA and stuff like that. Yeah, it sucked, man. Like, and that's usually how it goes, man. You feel those for generations later. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like, these guys need to be protected and sometimes protected from themselves. So I get what the NFL is doing. Is it going to mess with the game? Is it going to, is it going to make it hard for wide receivers, defensive backs to get their hands up? I think that's always going to be a possibility, right?
Yeah.
So Linda Connors with a $5 super chat says, "Is it me or did it seem like the Cowboys bought in a lot to the camp bodies this year than usual?" Yeah, definitely. I would agree on that. We have a lot more. I mean, when you look at the cornerback room, I mean, you have 10 corners going into camp, but it's because you need that. You need to see what people are capable of, and you need to be able to make some hard decisions and get rid of some fan favorites as well if they're not going to perform. So yeah, I think you have a lot of making up to do, and you have to seek out a lot of talent. So you got to put a lot of shit out there. You got to see a lot of tape. You got to see a lot of live. Live training and live pre season games and stuff like that. Just as all of a sudden you're going to see somebody come out of nowhere, whether they're going to stay healthy or not. Because I think that's always the biggest thing. They come out of nowhere, they're amazing. I mean, we look at Bland. That was the guy, right? Deep draft guy, and then all of a sudden he, now he has the bigger contract. And to me, where he was a gem, amazing gem before, now he's more of a liability. When he gets when he's knocked out of games, you're like, okay, now our guy that we're paying a lot of money to, he's out of games, because of an ankle or whatever. Again, the injury thing where we can't seem to keep these guys on the field because our injury staff can't seem to treat people correctly. But when he was a gem and he was missing guys, it was like, okay, he was a 6th, 7th round pick. There's no harm, no foul. But it's a little different now, man.
Yes, definitely. Glimmerman, they are not revolutionizing PPE. They are making the game softer. If they bring out flags and for punts and kickoffs, then we know where it's headed. Yeah, Miles, just watch soccer at that point. The other thing that bothers me about soccer, and I've been getting into.
They barely get touched, and they like having like
they're
dying on the field.
That's the one thing. Yeah, they're getting sniped, and all of a sudden the guy gets up and runs away. It's like, really?
That shit bothers the hell out of me, man. It's not like, dude, like, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm a man. It's like you're an actor, man. That's what you are, man. That's terrible. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So Dirty Sanchez, I'm interested to see where this is gonna go. Okay, so Dirty Sanchez with the $4.99 super chat says, why not bring a layer and make a body mold, then make pants that fit the body mold perfectly like the glove? That would make the world a difference. Yeah, I mean, not even paint it, just or you can make it, or you can paint it different colors, whatever you want. Start doing it like the shoes, the cleats, where they start doing the thing with the donating and all that stuff. Say yes to this, and yeah, actually, I honestly, Dirty, that was very, very nice. You contributed very nicely. I got to give you a round of applause there. That was not at all dirty. I was expecting it to go another way. I didn't know which honest way it was going to go. So I give you applause, man. It kind of threw us a curveball there.
He did.
So anyway, so when you're looking at this team, you talked about this defense. We talked about the offense. I know there's been some things we really haven't talked about. Special teams. I don't think there's really a lot to talk about there. We all know what we have there. We have a
Pro Bowl kick returner and a Pro Bowl kicker. We have one of the best special teams in the league. Yeah. That's what we have.
Yeah, I agree. And again, is it boneheaded sometimes? Yes. I think Turpin, again, I'm not always excited about I'm excited what he brings up to the offense. I'm not always excited that he plays on offense. Again, it's just if you're again like a CJ Goodwin, where if you're a break in case of emergency type of situation where you're bringing him out there for that. But I want him to totally focus on kick returns, man. I need you to bring it there where you have that hunger, and your hunger there is going to be on special teams, not your hunger because I got a wide receiver touchdown. I love that they're using weapons, but I need him to have that hunger and get a freaking touchdowns on some special team play, because I feel like it's been some years since that's happened, and I think it only happened in 1 or 2 games. And then that's it. So I think he has a lot to prove, because again, when you're talking about possibly Blue start returning some touchdowns, and of course with fumbling problems, I think anybody really can start to bring that type of game plan to them, and I think that's immediately puts Turpin on the chopping block, which I think again he would make any team very much a lot better on the special teams, because I think him just switching teams doesn't make him now he's not a threat at all. No, he's still going to be a threat. It's just, when is he going to be a threat? It's just like, when the hell, man? It just doesn't happen. Yeah. You're like waiting. You're like, all right, well, this shit's not going to happen and stuff. And then all of a sudden it happens. You're like, oh shit! Like, I was looking the other way. Like, Dirty says, pads not pants. Damn! Don't catch my words. Oh, did I mess that up? Pads not pants. Oh, he put it. It goes. They make pads that fit that body mold perfectly. I think that would make the difference. Yeah, they would. I mean, again, it's revolutionizing stuff. They don't think about stuff like that. They don't do that kind of stuff. They could barely make a chip in the ball to figure out where the hell the ball was on the field. Anyway, so Brian, any particular topic you want to go into? Is there any news right now? Because again, like I told you, I wasn't following a whole
really,
lot.
Man.
I saw some of these videos, and again, when I've looked at some of these things, and I'm making some of this content for the overlays as well, I get excited about the defensive tackles that we do have on this team. Now, again, you got to stay healthy. Everybody's got to play right. In general, I think health always comes a big concern. How many snaps is Clark getting throughout the season? Is he going to wear down by the end of the season? But right now, I think you got a really good foundation in the defensive tackle position, at least to play off of. Again, leaves a lot to be desired in the sense of the edge rushers that are playing beside him. But man, if those guys can come on in the sense of Easy being able to do it, again, rest in peace Nealon, that would have been an exciting thing to see him make, hopefully another transitional period there. But we got to make that next step in the sense of what's going to be that. Is Sam Williams going to come out of nowhere? Is he going to actually put a season together? He's betting on himself. I think that's interesting because, as each year has gone, he's kind of lost more and more respect in my book, in the sense of who I think he is. So I'm interested to see if he can make a transition in this defense as well too. Are we talking about his name? Is he going to be a loss? Is he going to be able to get us a comp pick if he decides to move on? So I think, again, Drew points it out, and I think we all understand, the Cowboy fans, our edge rushing definitely has a lot to be desired. Gary is our best shot. We saw a lot of his play drop off at the end of last year. I think teams started to game plan against him as he was making a really big push in the beginning of the season with Parsons and everything being there. It's going to be different if he's that main guy as well too. So if he's that main guy, it may happen again. He may be neutralized in that scheme, because that's what exactly started happening again in Green Bay.
Well, that's why
he's going to need to make that transition.
Well, that's why I think Malachi Lawrence comes in, as not the only first-round pick. All the attention is going to Cleb Downs, a.k.a. Caleb Downs. Malachi Lawrence just gets to sit back, man. Malachi just gets to sit back, no pressure on him. And, oh, by the way, you have Donovan Ezeraka, who also is coming off of labrum surgery. He looks different body-wise. He was our best run stuffer. He's a young, athletic. In this defense, I'll be curious to see. Day one, it's going to be probably Gary opposite Ezeraka.
Yeah,
it's very deep. We got James Houston. We got Sam Williams. We have a lot of bodies there. Now, I'm on record to say, I don't know that we have the guy. 3rd and 6.
Yep.
3rd and 7. You need a guy to beat somebody. I think Malachi Lawrence may be that guy. We're hoping it's Ezeraka. We know Rashawn Gary's more of a bull rush, never stops, high motor, stops the run. That's what's good about the guys that we got. They all stop the run well. So, again, do we have that guy who can make that sack in a key spot? I don't know. Without scheming it up and bringing pressure? Yeah. Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
Yep, I agree, man. But anyways, as we're going to push, what do you have going on in your channel?
Well, I did reach out just to let everybody know. I have an ex-New York Giant beat writer. They will be joining the show with me probably in a couple weeks. We're going to do a show we're going to try and do shows where we dig into each of the teams on the Eagles. I did reach out to Lord Brunson, still waiting to hear back. He's looking. Again, everybody's busy, but I'm trying to get some high-end guests. So I have a New York Giants SI writer / ex-Giant beat writer. She has a YouTube channel. She's going to be joining the show, so we're going to dig in. I got Pizzle coming back from the grave. He's going to help me interview her. So we got that coming up. If you want to join, Phil, you're more than welcome. That'll be in July. I am working on other guests. Obviously, we're going to do the NFC East Clash soon. I don't know when. We're still working on that as well. But nothing really planned. I'll probably do a live stream channel member Zoom tomorrow afternoon. Other than that, we're getting ready for preseason, everybody.
Preseason, yeah. And I don't care what Momo says, man. Get excited. Football's is getting close, in the sense, at least when you start to see those jerseys start to come on. It's hot. They're out there doing. Obviously they don't do 2-a-days anymore. The NFL is like, that's mean. Don't do that. You're gonna get suspended. No more draft picks. So it's kind of obviously we all have our criticism of the no fun league. But they're making their money, and again, when it comes to certain things like players' safety, it's hard to make that argument as well too. So, Bryan, again, I appreciate you coming on. We did a show. Here we go, man. We're doing a show. Hey, maybe we do it next week and we make this thing a constant thing. So, maybe there's be some news. Hopefully there won't be any bad news, and we just be making up shit and pissing people off with Dak comments, as you do.
Here you go. I'll go long. You throw me a ball. How far do you think you can throw a ball, buddy?
Nowadays,
You
I
think
don't
you
know.
can throw a ball?
I don't know. Like it would be a
You think you can throw
the first one would be a couple of pops. Like there would be some pops in the beginning, you know, like,
Well, it's funny. I can't just unload right now. I will definitely have some issues.
Yeah.
I have some serious I was trying to throw a ball the other day. I could throw a ball, but like having to catch baseball, and it was rough. Just I haven't did that motion, man. I'm definitely gonna hurt myself.
I've done it before where I've whipped that thing out and I go, oh, I pulled something.
Whoa, hey!
I pulled something. I was like, whoop. I was like, oh, here we go. It's like, there it is. Can't
Thanks,
be whipping that out.
Thanks, brother.
Gotta learn. But anyways, thank you again, Bryan. Anything you want to say to the chat before we get out of here?
Nah, man. I'm gonna do like a late after. I'll go on before Marks. So
Thank you,
maybe 2:00, something like that. 3:00. We'll do a live stream tomorrow, and then that'll be it. And then we'll get into next week. Next week he brings new stuff.
Nice, dirty. So, anyways, I appreciate everybody coming through and talking anything really, because football again, it's right there. You can kind of see it at the end of the tunnel. Still a month away or so, but the NFL Network, any of those things are going to bring drama. They're going to have discussions. It's going to be crazy talk sometimes. What's going to happen in between there? What NFL star is going to do what crazy ass shit? Because somebody's going to do something, and I think you almost kind of need to start doing bets on what team, or what position at least. What position do we think it's going to be? Usually it's a wide receiver, or cornerback, unless you start getting domestic violence type of stuff. So, I mean, hopefully nothing. But again, it's just these guys don't seem to know how to behave. Doing football stuff, not during football time. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you coming through. Bryan, I appreciate you coming as well, too. Nah, man, that sounded really, really bad. But one thing I appreciate everybody not forgetting to do,
just ring that bell, everybody.
All right, everybody take care. Let's send Bryan back to his channel.